The mystery that defies logic. Have you ever imagined a person living entire months without eating absolutely anything? Nothing at all. Not even bread. Not even fruit. Not a single sip of water. It seems impossible, right? The human body needs food to live. Without energy, the heart stops, the brain fails, and the body gives up. But what if I told you there is a true story recorded, witnessed, studied of a man who defied all the laws of nature? A man who, for months and according to some records, even 20 whole years he lived without eating, without drinking, and yet he continued alive, lucid, and full of peace. This story happened more than 5 centuries in the mountains of Switzerland, in a time when there were no cameras, laboratories, or modern medicines. But there was something that many today would call the power of faith. His name was Nicholas of Flüe, an ordinary man, just like you and me. She worked in the fields, took care of her family, and prayed before meals. But something inside him was calling him down a different path, a path of total surrender to God. One day, he left his home, his wife, and his 10 children, and he went to live alone in the mountains, in silence. There, far from the noise of the world, something began to happen, something that continues to this day. Science cannot explain it. People realized that Nicholas wasn't eating anymore. At first, they thought it was just fasting. Later, they thought it was an illness. But time passed, and he was still alive. Months turned into years, and the years became a legend, a true legend. Doctors of the time examined him. Priests and monks visited him. Some wanted to prove it was a trick. Others simply wanted to understand how it was possible. But what everyone saw was the same. A man at peace, with serene eyes, praying day and night. No food, no drink, but full of light. His body seemed to be nourished by something invisible, and he himself said, "God is my food." From then on, Nicholas became known as the saint who lived without eating, a phenomenon so extraordinary that it has spanned centuries and continues to intrigue scholars to this day. Faithful and curious people from all over the world. Can faith truly sustain the human body? Or is there something more? Something that science doesn't yet understand? If these stories touched you, leave your comment, like, would subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos. Here, with each video, you'll discover incredible stories of faith, mystery, and miracles. A simple man, an extraordinary heart before becoming the man who lived without eating. Nicholas of Flüe, he was just an ordinary farmer. Nothing special in the eyes of the world, but within him, there was something gigantic. He was born in 1417, in a small village in Switzerland, surrounded by green mountains, crystal clear streams, and fields of golden wheat. Life there was simple, waking up early, working the land, taking care of the animals, and thanking God for another day. From childhood, Nicholas was different. While the other boys played, he liked to hide near the trees to pray. He would remain silent, gazing at the sky, and say that he felt a presence, something invisible, but very real. Years passed, and Nicholas grew up. He became a hard-working, honest man, respected by all. He married Dorothea, a woman of faith, and together they had 10 children. Yes, 10. A large, cheerful, and vibrant family. He was the type of man who helped the neighbors that never fought, and he always said, "Peace is the greatest good we can have." But even with all this peaceful life, something inside him began to change. A mysterious feeling, a kind of calling that he couldn't ignore. It was as if God himself was calling him to something deeper, to a mission the world wouldn't understand. Nicholas began waking up in the early morning to pray alone. Sometimes he would spend hours in silence, kneeling. He said that, during prayer, via bright lights and felt a strong heat in his chest. Some thought it was just tiredness. Others said, "This man is being touched by God." But the conflict within him was growing. He loved his wife. He loved his children. He loved a simple life. But something in his heart said, "Nicholas, it's time for you to follow me completely." Imagine his struggle. A loving father, torn between family and faith, between human love and the divine calling. One day, after much prayer, he made the most difficult decision of his life: to leave everything behind and live solely for God. Before leaving, he spoke with his wife. It wasn't an escape. It was a farewell filled with love and tears. He held her hands and said, "Dorothea, God is calling me. I need to obey, but I will never stop loving you and our children." And with a heavy heart, Nicholas said goodbye to his children. He hugged each one of them. He promised to pray for everyone, every day. So he walked through the hills, wearing only simple clothes and with faith in his heart. There was no plan, there was no man, only the desire to live in silence, prayer, and total surrender. That ordinary farmer, husband, father was about to become one of the greatest mysteries in human history. And it was there, in the Swiss mountains, that the impossible began to happen. Nicholas's body stopped asking for food, but his soul began to fill with light. If these stories touched you, leave your comment, like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos. Here, with each video, you'll discover incredible stories of faith, mystery, and miracles. The cabin in the mountains, silence and faith. After saying goodbye to his family, Nicholas walked for days. He climbed hills, crossed forests, and slept under the open sky. The ground was hard, the wind was cold, but his heart was at peace. He was not seeking fame, nor glory, nor miracles. He just wanted to get closer to God. Finally, he found a small valley hidden among the Swiss mountains, a quiet place surrounded by trees and a crystal clear stream. There, he built with his own hands a simple wooden cabin. It was small, cold, without windows, but for him, it was a piece of heaven. Inside that cabin, Nicholas began to live like a hermit. No luxury, no distractions, nothing, just prayer, silence, and nature. People passing by would sometimes see him kneeling for hours, with her face turned towards the sky, her eyes closed, and a calm smile. It was as if he were talking to someone invisible. At first, he ate small portions of bread and drank water from the stream, but something mysterious began to happen. As the days went by, he felt less hungry. The body appeared to have no need for food, and little by little, Nicholas stopped eating. First one day, then 2, a week, a whole month, and surprisingly, he didn't get weak. On the contrary, he seemed more alive than ever. The farmers who lived nearby began to find things strange. "He's starving," they said, but when they visited him, they found Nicholas calm, smiling and saying, "Don't worry about me. The Lord is my food." People didn't understand. How could anyone live without eating, without drinking water? How could the body endure it? Soon, the news spread. Men and women began climbing the mountains just to see him. Some went out of curiosity, others out of faith, but they all came back changed. They said that, upon approaching the cabin, they felt a profound peace, a warmth in my chest, a feeling that time had stopped, as if something supernatural were happening there. Nicholas himself didn't want attention. He just wanted to pray. But each day, more people came, and each visit was a chance for him to teach a simple yet powerful lesson. Those who live with God are never alone. Those who trust in Him never go hungry. And so, in that small wooden shelter, began one of the most enigmatic phenomena in history. Nicholas of Flüe did not eat. He didn't drink. But she lived, and she lived with an inexplicable joy. Months turned into years, and what was just a rumor became a mystery that the whole world would try to understand. Would that be a miracle? Could his body be sustained by something beyond science? Or would it simply be faith, pure and profound, nourishing the soul until the very last thread of life? The answers were yet to come, but one thing was certain, that man's life in the mountains was about to change the world forever. If these stories touched you, leave your comment, like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos. Here, with each video, you'll discover incredible stories of faith, mystery, and miracles, the phenomenon that science cannot explain. Months turned into years, and Nicholas of Flüe continued there without eating, without drinking, but alive. The farmers in the region didn't know what to think. Some said he was a saint, others thought it was madness, but no one could explain it. How was he still breathing? In the 15th century, there were no laboratories or modern scientists, but there were curious priests, doctors, and nobles who wanted to understand the mystery. They started visiting him, noting what they saw, and asking questions, and everyone left impressed. Nicholas had bright eyes, firm voice, and a serene gaze. He walked around, smiled, and talked to people. There was no sign of weakness or illness, but he ate absolutely nothing. One of the visitors even observed Nicholas for weeks. He wrote, "The hermit neither eats nor drinks, and yet lives in perfect health. His body seems to be supported by something that is not of this world." Others tried to test him. Some suspected he was eating in secret, but nothing was found. During long periods of observation, Nicholas, he didn't touch any food, and yet he remained lucid and calm. When asked how it was possible, Nicholas always answered the same way: "I nourish myself with the Eucharist. Christ is my bread." He said that in prayer. He felt a divine force filling him from within, as if each breath were a form of nourishment. This explanation, so simple, so pure, it was impossible for science to comprehend. But somehow, it seemed real. Over time, the case spread throughout Europe. Men and women traveled from afar just to see the saint who didn't eat. Some went in search of answers, others in search of miracles, and many returned saying they had been healed not in the body, but that but. Just imagine a man living more than 20 years without food, without losing weight, without getting sick, without giving up. How is that possible? To this day, doctors and researchers are still trying to understand. They say that the human body, it cannot survive more than a few weeks without food, and without water, not even 3 days. But Nicholas of Flüe survived 4 decades, and not only did he survive, he lived happily. Can faith truly nourish the body? Could there be a divine energy that science doesn't yet understand? Or did Nicholas show us that human beings are capable of living on something far greater than bread and water? What no one can deny is that he lived the impossible, and this impossible feeling continues to echo through the centuries, like a mystery that even time could not erase. Some call it a miracle, others call it faith, but everyone agrees on one thing. The case of Nicholas of Flüe challenges everything we know about life. If these stories touched you, leave your comment, like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos. Here, with each video, you'll discover incredible stories of faith, mystery, and miracles. The Saint who saved a nation, a legacy that never dies, while Nicholas lived in his cabin. The world outside was changing. Switzerland, that small country, nestled among mountains, was on the verge of war. Rival cities fought over power, territory, and money. Tension was rising. Soldiers were getting ready, and it seemed that nothing could stop the blood from being spilled. But then, someone remembered the man from the mountains, the hermit, he who lived by faith and prayer, the one who, they say, I hadn't eaten in decades, and yet he spoke with wisdom and love. The Swiss leaders decided to climb up there. They wanted to hear his advice. The story goes that they arrived tired, dirty, and with tense faces, and they found Nicholas sitting at the door of the cabin, praying silently. He looked up and smiled. "My children," he said in a calm voice, "do not let greed destroy what God has joined together." Those words, so simple, so pure, they struck men's hearts like an arrow. They talked for hours. No one knows for sure what was said at that meeting, but when the leaders came down the mountain to war, it simply didn't happen. Switzerland was spared, a lonely man, weak in the eyes of the world, but strong in faith. I had just finished to stop an entire war with words. After that, Nicholas of Flüe was called father of the Swiss nation, and even today, the Swiss say he was the guardian of the country's peace. But what's most impressive is that, even after becoming a living legend, he remained the same. He wanted neither palaces, nor power, nor recognition. He returned to his cabin, to his silence, back to the same place where it all began. Years later, when he departed this world, there was no gold, no crowns, no armies around, only the sound of the wind rustling through the trees and the sunlight filtering through the mountains. But something remained, your example, your faith, and it's a mystery that no one has been able to explain to this day. Nicholas experienced the impossible. He defied science. It inspired kings and peasants alike, and it showed that one heart full of faith, it can change the destiny of a nation. We may never know how he survived without eating. Perhaps science will never find an answer, but ultimately, it doesn't matter that much. The real miracle wasn't just living without food. The real miracle was nourishing an entire country with hope. And even today, when the world seems lost, the story of Nicholas of Flüe whispers in the Swiss mountains. Faith moves the impossible. Peace begins within the heart. If these stories touched you, leave your comment. Like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos. Here, with each video, you'll discover incredible stories of faith, mystery, and miracles.